What's going on, everybody? Blackout 7 day 2. Let's talk about it. I'm gonna try to get through these as quickly as possible while at the same time giving detail on each of the battles. First battle up, Chrome versus Essam. I had it for Chrome 2-1. Essam started off pretty good in his first round, I felt. But he kind of just fell off and became sloppy and choppy as the second and third round progressed. He was, stumbling and choppy in the second round. The third round, he had, pretty much like a choke and was freestyling the end of his round. He kind of has one of those styles where, like, he tries to be, like, nonchalant, but in him, like, being nonchalant, it kind of gives off the presence that, like, he doesn't care too much about what he's saying. And it just it's like unpolished. It's just a sloppy kind of a visual performance, in my personal opinion. He could just tighten that up. I think he has potential to actually do some real good work, but he just needs to tighten up some things. So I gave it to Chrome pretty clearly 2-1 in my opinion. Jims versus Loso. That battle was pretty tough. Salute to both of them for putting on a good show, especially coming from, bullpen. Salute to John the Don, and then Jim's coming from RBE. Salute to ARP, shout out to Lawrence and everybody. I was expecting this battle to end with, no matter how good Jim's did, everyone and their mother just hating on Jims. That's personally what I was expecting. Those shots to Jims. Jims is mad cool, behind the scenes, but I just felt as though that's just how the cookie crumbles for this dude. Like, for some odd reason, I don't know why, but battle rap fans love to hate Jims. They love to love his blogs. They love to love his commentary outside of battle rap. But when it comes to him stepping in the ring, no matter how good of a performance he does, or how much he shows that he's changed or grown or evolved or whatever, people love to hate the brother. So I thought that no matter what he does, people gonna be hating. I was surprised because people, for the first time, I don't know, I can't even say it's the KOTD stage because RBE is a fair stage. It's just fan comments on his RBE battles be, trying to roast his life. But a lot of fans were giving Jim's high praise in this battle for his match with Loso. Some people had him winning, some people had him losing. But at the end of the day, I felt as though he finally got recognition and the respect he deserves for the performance he put on. Loso was solid. Loso's been on a steady rise, putting in steady work since, his appearance. And John, salute to John for bringing him up. Overall, I had Jims in this battle 2-1. It was a close fought match. It's one of those where if you look at the polls online, a lot of people have it 50-50 going back and forth. You'll see some polls where some people say Jims won, and then some polls you see that people say Loso won. I personally had Jims 2-1, no bias, but I can totally see it, people giving it to Loso the other way. Great battle for both of them. Both of their stocks went up, and bright futures for both men. So hope to see him back on the KOTD platform. Pass versus Nestle, super dope battle. That battle was one that turned off during the pay-per-view stream. I don't know what happened, but it just cut out. But I got to watch it on, the playback. Super dope. I heard online that it was a fun battle, good back and forth, and it lived up to the hype from what I heard from other people who got to see it live. I had Ness winning 2-1. In the first round, it's interesting. I was going to say that, like, Ness kind of needs to adjust his delivery on certain bars, and I'm going to still say that. I've been watching Nestle since grind time and stuff like that. It's not like I just got put on to the brother today, but I feel as though he kind of needs to still switch up his delivery on how he delivers some of his punchlines, some of his bars, but at the same time, in the second and third round, he really kicked it up, and I felt as though Ness, for me, in my opinion, won off of his rapping ability, where he kind of was just flowing and switching flows at certain times and just spitting so many rhymes, like so many words within his bars, that like he was able to say so much more, and he just ended up, in a way out punching passwords. And he also had his, freestyles. He was coming off the top of his head. Passwords, whatever you want to say, Pass was dope, super solid. But I felt as though Ness just kind of edged him out later on in the battle, second and third round. First round I gave the pass though, but that was a fun battle. I really liked that one. Swave Seva versus Shoddy P. Interesting match. New school versus the OG. One thing with Swave is not a guy that's gonna rap fast. So you know that when it comes to the quantity within his quality, it's not gonna be as much quantity. You know what I'm saying? He'll give you quality bars, but it's not gonna be, you know, quantity. And the thing with Swave is he's one of those guys where he has made some adjustments to how battle rap has evolved with wordplay, punchline setups, delivery, you know, deliveries breaking down words into, you know, multiple words or whatever the case, stretching, reaching a little bit. He's done a little bit of everything in his past battles over time. Scheme setups, you know, role play scenarios, Saga and Tank the Demon, all that stuff. But he's a guy who his old school style coming from grind time and stuff like that can still and is still effective in today's era. He's one of those dudes that just gives you a certain type of feel when you hear him spit. So I feel as though that translates well for his bars. Even if he's not saying the most complex stuff, it's just like, that was hard. You know what I'm saying? That's just how Swave is. Swave, I had him winning 2-1. Personal opinion, had him winning 2-1. I felt as though kind of like at times it was just like the OG just talking down to, you know, one of the young bulls just trying to come up. Shoddy also in the third had the little slight stumble choke kind of thing. That certain things, like I feel like a lot more with recent battle rap, we're more critical to counting those against battlers when it comes to deciding who won or lost. But I guess in a way you have to take all that into consideration. Also, I mean, in Swave's third, he was kind of like G-checking him and hood-checking him for like his, you know, real street status and stuff like that. Swave's content kind of resonated more with me than Shoddy P's did, but it was a dope battle. I gave it 2-1 Swave. Again, it's battle rap. I can see people saying 2-1 Shoddy. And anyone in the comments that want to roast me for, oh, you can't be saying that you can see other people say, like, bro, whether I say I can see other people saying 2-1 for the other person or not, doesn't matter, because there's always going to be other people saying 2-1 or 3-0 for the other person. So I'm just speaking as it is, you know what I'm saying? These battles, Sway versus Shoddy, Loso versus Jim, those weren't like clear cut, like just straight body bag. Those were ones where it's like one side could argue for this, the other could argue for that. Me personally, I had Swave 2-1. Marv won and Quest McCody versus Carter Deems and Cheddar Cheese. That was a interesting match. This battle, I feel as though it had potential to be more than it turned out, my personal opinion. The battle for me kind of got weird. Kind of got a little weird as the battle carried on. Entertainment value, comedic value, and just like consistent entertainment and comedy. If you have to really judge the battle, like I watched this not really trying to judge it, I just watched it to be entertained. But if you had to, off of entertainment, like I said, comedic value, I would give it to Carter and Cheddar Cheese. But like I felt as though, I think it was round 2 when Quest started to, you know, start screaming about, I fucking hate cats, I fuck cats, like all these like angry hate cat bars. Like I get what they're trying to do, but like I just felt as though that it kind of got a little weird. Like they could have delivered that differently, or they could have just like minimized that section of the round to just a few bars and then transition to something else, because I just certain parts, just energy wise and performance and delivery wise, it felt strange. And then the third round with Quest reading like that letter and doing you know, just like the little stutter speech and everything like that, it was just, I don't know, just the second and third round from Quest and Marv just was a little bit weird for me, and it kind of threw off the energy of the battle. There was like awkward moments. So yeah, steady entertainment and stuff like that, I give it to Carter and Cheese. All right, Here's the big one. Head I.C.E versus Rone. First off, let me just start by saying salute to Head I.C.E for getting the chain. I'm also going to say salute to Rone for putting on a phenomenal performance to try and defend the chain. And third, I'm going to say salute to Rap Grid. I know I was cooking them for, whoever was in charge of the Twitter feed when they said that they had Jonai winning 2-1 over Chilla Jones. Whoever that was, you're still bugging for that. You don't get a pass for that one. But salute to Rap Grid and Direct for the Head I.C.E conspiracy theory thing. I'm a person who, if you scroll through my videos on my YouTube channel, I've put up a number of troll videos. You know what I'm saying? One specifically where people was flaming my life was It was a troll video where I said that Charlie Clips clearly 3-0 body bagged Hollow the Dom, and Jazz the Rapper cleared 3-0 body bagged Official. And I did it just to see like how people would react and like quickly people would turn on you. And within like 5 minutes, everyone and their mother in battle rap was calling my phone, hit me on Twitter, Instagram, everything. People was flaming my life. And I've also just done other comedy videos, so I know what it's like to put out the troll content. I thought that shit was hilarious personally. Like, you can't, I saw people reading this shit like or commenting like, I'm unsubscribing right now, blah 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 blah. I can't believe you do this. We have real conspiracies going on in the world, and you take the time to joke, blah blah. Like, yo, calm down, son. Lighten up. Take the stick out your ass. Like, this shit is not that serious, bro. If you watch any footage like the reaches that they were doing to connect the dots, what they were trying to say was hilarious. It was an obvious troll. It was obviously not serious. So anyone who took that seriously, lighten up, and just lighten up some more. All right, now with that being said, let's get to the battle. Head I.C.E versus Rone. I'm just going to say that I know some of the stuff I'm going to say right now is probably going to get me flamed a little bit. Some people are going to hate me. Some people might respect me for speaking the truth about my own personal opinions. I'm going to talk, though. I watched this battle twice. And when I watched it live, I'm going to keep it a buck. After Rone's third, I was like, I got to edge it to Rone 2-1. First and the third, I think it was. Second time I watched it again. I'm going to be all the way honest. Like I said, salute to I.C.E. He put in work and he put up an incredible fight. I still, personal opinion, gave it to Rone 2-1. Just my personal opinion. I gave it to Rone 2-1, first and the third. In terms of rapping and speed and everything, Rone's rapping style allows him, like I said with Ness versus Pass, like Ness was saying so much more, and it was effective shit he was saying. Rone's rapping style has always been a dude who spit these multis and just, quick ass, like Twister type of lyrics in battle rap. Rone has always had an ability to turn up the speed and just say so much shit. Head I.C.E, as we all know, has an extremely unique style, a style that's, I feel as though in some ways I.C.E.'s style back in the days, years ago, was a little bit like ahead of its time in a sense, where he would say shit and people just like didn't really grasp what he was saying until years in, people started being like, oh, I finally get I.C.E. Even if he's saying some abstract shit that is kind of like, wait, what? And you're like, I get it. Like, people can appreciate his style more. It's a style that's become more effective with time. Maybe it's like a fine wine, so to speak. You gotta let it sit for a minute before you really get that taste to kick in. But in terms of rapping ability, Rone is able to say so much more. Now, granted, quantity doesn't always mean that the quality is going to be there, but Rone raps quantity with quality. He always has since grind time, since way back. But I.C.E. has great quality shit as well. One thing about this battle that was very telling to me is that the atmosphere going into it. Keep it all the way real. It felt as though, obviously, everyone wants I.C.E. to get that chain. I wanted I.C.E. to get the chain, to be real. I wanted him to get it. He's worked hard. He's put in mad work for KOTD. He's been super loyal to them for years. People always, come back to Smack. And he's like, nah, bro, KOTD treats me good. Like, I'm staying here, Salute to him. Loyalty over money, LOM style. or Wolf Love, We Only Love Family. I guess, KOTD, the ISIS family. But he's put in work for them, like hard body. So I respect the fact that they gave him the shot and he went for it. You know what I'm saying? It's not that he didn't put up a fight. Like Ice put in work. So like I said, you could argue for Ice. You could argue for Ice. But the energy going into the battle was that everyone wanted Ice to win. And the energy going into the battle, even more so than people wanting him to win, was that he was already the champ. Like with Rone, even though he was the champ, I looked at him at this battle, like when they were introducing, even though Organic said challenger, Head I.C.E, champion, Rone, I still looked at it as like he introduced Rone as the challenger and Ice the champ, When you look at boxing matches, I'm keeping it 100,000% official right now. Danny Jacobs versus Golovkin. Perfect example. Perfect example. Now, if you want to talk boxing, later on in the fight, I had Danny outboxing Golovkin, clearly, in my personal opinion. Still a close fight, and a lot of the earlier rounds when neither opponent was really landing stuff effectively, Golovkin was the aggressor, the one advancing. So when you're the champion pressing the fight and the challenger's not really landing some big spectacular punches, you got to give a lot of those earlier rounds to Golovkin. But later on in the fight, Danny clearly was outboxing him. And I had Danny winning the fight, close margin, because he got dropped and everything, but I still had him winning the fight. But Golovkin was the champ. He was a champ, and he's, in a lot of ways, the cash cow. Big fight with him and Canelo Alvarez, him and big fight with him and Chavez Jr. The politics kicks in. So in fights that are that close, even if the challenger beats the champ by this much, unless you beat the champ by this much, or you just straight just knock him the fuck out, this much as a challenger normally isn't going to cut it in boxing. So if you beat the champ by this much, you still lost technically. A lot of the judges will still give it to the champion. So in this match, where a fight that's that close for battle rap, Rone being the champion, you would think that a close battle like that, they would give it to the champion. But in this match, like I said, the energy going into the battle was that Ice was already the champ. So in a close match like that, you give it to the champ, which even though it's technically Rone, in everyone's mind and eyes, it was already Ice. You see what I'm saying? And you look at Rone. I don't remember hearing it in the playback when they had it like the on demand or whatever, but in the live pay-per-view before the battle, I remember hearing Rone say something. It was like he was Organic and Bishop and Gully said something, and Rone was like, "Oh, you could already hear where the favoritism is." Like he said it like two times. Like, "Oh, you already see it. Look at the favoritism. You already see where the favoritism is. You could hear it before the battle. You're not going to hear that, obviously in the edited version when the battle comes out. But live pay-per-view, you could hear that. And then at the announcement, and the winner by split decision, you saw Rone. It's like he knew. It's like he knew what it was. It was preconceived, preordained that Ice, as long as Ice put in a solid performance, he was going to win. Rone even knew. It was like, it's Ice. And again, that's not to take away from Head I.C.E. Head I.C.E. put in work. If Head I.C.E. came completely incorrect and came with some bum-ass material, he wouldn't have won. If he just came in and just thinking, I'm going to get the chain regardless, and he just dropped the ball, yeah, you dead best believe he would have got the shit stripped from him. But because he put up a solid performance, a solid fight, he had some really impressive material. I ain't got nothing against Head I.C.E. I'm a huge Head I.C.E. fan. Anytime Head I.C.E. battle, you best believe I'm tuning in. But he had some solid material, some memorable moments, and some very powerful lines. So as long as Head I.C.E. delivered on those fronts, he was going to get the dub. Because like I said, it was already looked at like he was already the champ without the chain being around his neck. One thing that I felt was a telling point for a lot of judges giving it to Head I.C.E. Some battle rappers or just people who, when they judge battles, one prime example of this, it was Sue Surf versus Hollow the Don. And I remember Joe Budden tweeted. He was tweeting how, he thought Surf won as his man. So Surf did good in that battle. But what was it? It was Hollow's, I'm sharp, it's off of his head. I'm sharp, it's off of his head. Should I say it again, Sue? It was Hollow's, should I say it, Ginsu, bar that had Joe Budden. He tweeted, he was like, yo, if it wasn't for that line, he would have lost that round. Or that he said something about that line saved him or some shit like that. That line saved him the round. So there's certain people when they judge battles that one bar, one line, one scheme, one setup, one haymaker can just be the deciding factor for either a whole round or a whole battle. So in this case, and I'm not going to front, this was a powerful point in the battle when Head I.C.E pretty much flipped Rone's previously spit material from a battle he had said before, you know, just saying like, fuck Canadians, y'all pussy. He flipped that and was like, yo, how y'all condone giving this man 2 chains already when he's the one that's disrespecting your whole nation? You know what I'm saying? That was a very powerful point in the battle. I believe it was Bonnie Godiva who said in the post battle interview that like that was the moment that was just like, yo, that won him the battle with that one part right there. So I can see why judges and a lot of fans will give him it off of that. Some people might say that, you know, they thought some of Rone's shit was corny. I saw one dude on Twitter talking about how Rone saying that my pops is from, you know, Douglas Projects, and he and my pops had the exact same type of opportunities and shit like that. While that might be a stretch, you know, I'm not gonna, if that's an actual fact that Rone's pops is really from Douglas, you know, I'm not gonna, you know, knock it like, oh, because your pops is white or whatever, you know, he doesn't have the struggles too. I thought that Rone's third was solid, and I thought I.C.E.'s third was solid too. I just thought that, for me, personal opinion, as a complete battle, 3 complete rounds, I thought that Rone outdid it for 2 of the 3. But again, when you come to titles and the chain, and you have the person who's the title holder having previously stated on his resume, fuck the nation, you know, fuck the nation that I'm representing, holding the title for, I'm gonna keep it a buck. That's really shaky. And in terms of titles, that's pretty fraudulent. So I can, like I said, I see why a lot of people give it to I.C.E. A lot of people just said off of that one bar, they was like, I'm giving it to I.C.E. I can see it. I can see it. Some people were saying, you know, look at the look at the judges. How do you expect it to be judged any other way? When I read the list that Organic and KOTD posted of all the judges, I was like, you know, I think it was Ness who gave it to Rone. And to be real, that is actually like a split decision, even though it's not like, it's like a majority split or whatever. But there's been times in boxing in the Golden Gloves when normal like amateur shows, they'll have 3 judges, so you'll win 3-0, 2-1, or you'll just put like PTS, like points or whatever the case, if it was really close. But in the Golden Gloves, for some reason, they put 5 judges. So there's been times when I fought a dude, and I personally thought like I just smoked homie like 5-0 without a doubt. And I look at my book, and even the announcer will be like, all right, and the winner by split decision, like, what? And, you know, blue corner, whatever the case, Michael Hughes. And then I look at my book, and it'll say 4-1. So there are times when 4-1, they'll call it a split. But in terms of the judges, at the, the Gyms versus Averb battle at the RBE event, I was offered the opportunity to judge, to be one of the judges, but I turned it down. I was like, you know what, nah, bro, like me personally, I'm just coming back onto the scene. Yeah, it would be good for, you know, promo and shit like that to get my name and my face back out there, but this is my first RBE event in like damn near 2 years. I just want to chill and just enjoy the work that y'all put out, you know, for me to watch. I don't really want to be put in that pressure situation to have to actually judge some shit. Granted, I would have judged it for Gyms 2-1 in the building like everyone else did, but, you know, I was offered and I turned it down. And that's how it goes. It's like they'll say, yo, you want this, they'll offer, you know, the judging position, and then they'll tell the battlers, yo, are you cool with this person being the judge? So at the end of the day, they're not going to put 5 judges without getting consent from both battle rappers beforehand. Like, yo, you cool with this person? You cool with this person? You cool? Oh, you're not cool with this person? Yo, my man, sorry, we would put you down. He's cool with you, but the other person not cool with you being a judge, so we're gonna get someone else. If Rome was consenting to those 5 people, you can't really knock the judge's decision. You can't. You know, if Rome said he's cool with them, he's cool with them. You know, maybe they could have gotten a few names that weren't New York based or whatever, but hey, if Rome was cool with it, he's cool with it. So that's my personal take on Head I.C.E versus Rone. I had, like I said, I Rone close, super close 2-1. But again, I can see why people give it to Ice, and I'm not taking nothing away from Ice. I'm a big Head I.C.E fan. Salute to him. Now that he has the chain, I would love to see him defend it for a good amount of battles, for as long as he possibly can. You know what I'm saying? I would love to see Ice, you know, go on just a streak, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 title defenses. I would love to see it happen. You know, that would be awesome for him. He made history, first, you know, black man with the KOTD chain. Salute. First black KOTD champion, you know. That's big news. You know, not to put race into this shit, but at the end of the day, that's a big prominent part of our society. So, first black man to wear the KOTD championship chain. Salute to Head I.C.E. Salute to Rone. Rone could bounce back. For all we know, Rone could get the title again years down the road. Blackout 7, aside from the day 2 technical difficulties, was a super fire event. Only thing I would say about Blackout, and just any and all battle rap event in general, if they could tighten up the time that it takes to complete the event by like an hour or 2, that would be wavy. You know, instead of sitting through 2, 3, 4 hours of people just doing random commentary. The commentary was good though. I ain't gonna front. They were, you know, chopping it up, keeping the ball rolling, keeping things entertained. But if battle rap events in general could tighten it up so that they finish an hour or 2 earlier, it would be extra wavy. Otherwise, Blackout 7 was super fun. Until next time.